Ah, well, mon nom s'appelle SK.
YouTubers, hello! It's Melissa, the M of the Emanation Bespoke Hairstyles. We are styling the lovely Sian. Hey, Sian. And I said 2013 is about sharing, and connecting. And I want you to kind of understand the sort of clients that we work with. And one of those special clients is Sian. So I thought it'd be a good idea while styling her to have a conversation about what she does. And maybe you would find that service useful in the future. Sian, what do you do?
I make cakes.
Okay.
I specialize in cakes that tend to be more towards the healthier and ethical ingredients. So, for example, all the cocoa I use, all the chocolate I use comes from fair trade growers, normally in Africa and sometimes in Brazil. The eggs I use come from chickens in my parents' garden. I use organic flour. I use fruit that are in season. So I try to bring that into my cakes, and I don't really use icing. I found that people, especially people within our community who are grown up, who enjoy cake, they don't like to eat icing. And icing normally gets wasted because it looks beautiful, but then it gets peeled off and thrown away. And I don't believe in wasting food. I think it's wrong. So I like to make cakes that look beautiful, don't use icing, which is also excess sugar, and also taste as good as they look. That's something that's very important to me because I'd often see a beautiful cake, then you taste it and it tastes of nothing. I don't know why that is. I can't comment on anybody else, but I know that I put love into all my cakes, and I wouldn't make something for a client that I wouldn't make for myself. So that's what I do. You can find me on Facebook. It's www.facebook.com/cater to your senses. And you can find me on Twitter, and it's just /Sian the Baker, SSIAN, Sian the Baker. That's it.
Wonderful. And I can vouch for your cakes.
Yes.
And do me a favor, send me some pictures of your cakes. I have some.
Yes.
But my family, Christmas, any occasion, treats, birthdays.
Definitely, I'll do that.
I basically, myself and the kids, order from Sian. And the cakes always love it. And you're right. Because I'm one of those people, and I never thought about it, but I peel the icing off.
Yeah.
And I find it too sweet.
Yes.
So the way you bring your cake here is the way we devour it.
Yes. Because people like to eat cake, but these days, especially women who are interested in natural hair and looking after themselves, they do want a treat. And you don't need to have the treat with all the excess sugar and all the excess added on. You just want the essence of the cake with something to just make it look a bit pretty. So I use fruit, I use roasted nuts, I use chocolate, I use things that are edible, that will add decoration to the cake without having just too much extra sugar, because icing is basically just sugar. And also I don't use any artificial colorings or preservatives with my cake. So it's like when you get it, eat it straight away.
Eat it.
You've got maybe 2 or 3 days at best, because I don't use any artificial preservatives, colorings, nothing like that.
Yeah, and that's true. And it's not a problem though, me eating your cakes really quickly. they always go. Is there a trend in terms of, like, for us there's a trend with hairstyles.
Yes.
Is there a trend with cakes?
I would say there is a trend with cakes, and obviously everybody knows at the moment it's cupcakes. So I do a lot of cupcakes, and people like cupcakes for occasions because it's less hassle than having a big cake, having to cut it into small pieces, then get a tissue, wrap it up individually or hand it out. So it's easier to have cupcake because it's already in an individual portion. And so what I do is I specialize in our favorite desserts, but in cupcake form. So for example, Melissa and who gets favorite is the Bespoke cupcake.
Yeah.
In fact, that's the best seller of mine.
Oh, really?
Everybody, even people who don't like bananas, they love the Bespoke cupcake. But I also do like lemon meringue, apple crumble, black forest, all those types of our favorites, just in a cupcake form.
Okay.
And an individual
So,
format.
Sian, question. How did you come to work with cakes?
I've always had an interest in baking. I've been baking with my grandmother for as long as I can remember.
No,
my
mum.
grandmother would always make our birthday cakes and make this type of treat spot for us. And then obviously as I got older, I was able to contribute and eventually take over from doing the family baking. So I've been baking with my grandmother for as long as I can remember. She used to get an upturned box, turn it over, stand on that box, and I used to help her do whatever baking she was doing. And from that, I've just developed such an interest and a passion for it. I haven't been to study it. I'm just self-taught.
Wow.
But over the last few years, when I'd make a cake for somebody, I'd always get more referrals. People would always say, "Oh, that cake you made for your sister was so nice. Could you do one for my cousin? Could you do one for my auntie so on? Could you do this? Like, for example, gluten-free or without cream or..." And I said, yes, I can. And eventually, I had to start charging people because I was spending so much money on ingredients. So it kind of just turned into a business from my hobby, really. And it's just something that I love to do. So I think in that way, it's like Bespoke hairstyles. They had an interest in something and they just got good at it. And people started to ask them to do their hair. And eventually, you're spending so much time and energy doing it. You have to get paid for it. You have to get paid for it. I can
taste your passion, like in your food. In what you make the cakes, I can taste the passion. And I also like the fact that you're bespoke.
Yes.
So I can tell you, I want a little bit more nuts.
Yes.
Or like I told you, I wanted a cake that was quite heavy, and you're able to provide that.
Yes.
And I like that. That's what I'm like now, is I like that personal service where I can call and we can tweak it a bit and it tastes like I want it to taste. And that's what I like about your, also you're very, professional. You're on time, delivery, and you give the information that's needed to let us know the timeline to eat the cake. And I like that about you, the fact that you are like available always. Yeah. Emergency, little treats, you do. You got my back, so I don't have to worry about cakes.
No.
Because I've got Sian the baker. Oh, Sian, thanks a lot for telling us about you and spending time with us. And Sian has been a regular client. I'm going to try and post at the end of this video the styles we've done for her, and you might recognize her head.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Sian. It's always a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
And all her contact details, all Sian's contact details will also be put at the end of this posting. Thanks for watching this posting. And I also put the picture of the hairstyle we're doing right now. I'll put it at the end so you see how it turned out. Thanks for watching. Take care of you. Bye.
Ah, well, mon nom s'appelle SK, original, featuring Adam, lawyer entertainment present, yeah, street blaster. On y va.
Tout le monde est présenté vos chansons, s'il vous plaît, voici votre SK Blinks original, featuring Adam. Afrique, balancez, balancez, Afrique, bougez, bougez, Afrique, balancez, balancez, Afrique, bougez, bougez, Afrique, balancez, balancez, Afrique, bougez, bougez. Ahayado, ahayado, baby. Ahayado, ahayado.